What's up, guys? Part-time Gamer Dad here. Today I'm going to give you my quick review with star ratings of Aew Dynasty that took place this last Sunday on April 21st. And before we get into it, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 2,200 subscribers. That's our goal by the end of April. And also make sure you comment down below how you rated the matches that took place at Aew Dynasty. A little bit of admin, just real quick. I'm not going to be rating any of the 0 hour or pre-show matches. I didn't watch them, so they won't be rated. But do let me know your thoughts on those matches in the comments below as well. So kicking us off was Kazuchika Okada successfully retaining his AEW Continental Championship against Pac. And look, it's Pac and Okada. It's a 4-star match. I think it was really solid. I think that we could see more matches between these two. I would be all in. I like to maybe see some stips, but these two just know how to wrestle. Okada's a machine. Pac is one of the most underrated talents of the last decade. Both very hard hitting, and love this match. I think there's a little bit more room for it if they want to continue to build this story out even more. But for this initial matchup between them and AEW, 4 stars. Next up, House of Black, which is Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews defeated the team of Adam Copeland, the TNT champion, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe. It was a fine match. It's 2 3/4 stars, really, because it just went a little too long, in my opinion. This match could have been serviced by having a few minutes shaved off of it. You could have still accomplished the same story that you set out to tell. And also, really, this felt like it could have been on a different show, and I would have rather seen this match take place at a Collision or a Rampage or Dynamite and get us to Malachi Black challenging Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship at AEW Dynasty. I would have preferred that matchup. But all that being said, fine, decent match, 2 3/4 star. Next up, Willow Nightingale defeated Julia Hart for the TBS Championship. Not terribly happy with the result, although I think it's notable that Julia Hart was injured. This was a very short match. I give it 2.5 stars out of 5. I really don't like how quickly it pivoted away from the focus on Julia Hart, who's done really great work over the last few months as TBS champion, and also the work she'd done previously in really that conversion to the House of Black and really building up this intriguing character. Also, there's been a long-term story between Willow Nightingale and Julia Hart. So for them to do a short match, which granted, it could have been due to the fact that Julia's injured, but also to immediately pivot on this, like right after she beats Julia Hart, immediately pivot to the Mercedes Moné storyline and pushing that for Double or Nothing. Feels like it kind of devalues all of the work and storytelling they've had up to this point. So with all that being said, I give it 2.5 stars. Next up, Roderick Strong defeated Kyle O'Reilly to retain the AEW International Championship. When I was giving my predictions, I said this match may not go too hard just because there's so many other banger matches that have been scheduled, and I think they're really going to overperform. I was proven wrong. This ended up being one of the killer matches of the show, probably top 3 for me. And I feel like it was a really well done. Obviously, I don't think the story is over, and Undisputed Kingdom being in the ring afterwards, there's a little bit of additional storytelling taking place. So I'm excited to see what happens as a result of this match going down. I'd like to see Kyle O'Reilly still be in the orbit of the Undisputed Kingdom storyline. Maybe they kick out Wardlow and bring Kyle O'Reilly in. I'm not really sure. But with all that being said, this match overperformed against my expectations, but my prediction of Roderick Strong retaining that title were correct. So, hey, I'll take 1 out of 2. Next up, in the lowest rated match I've ever given on this channel, Jericho defeated Hook for the FTW Championship in a match that was too long. It was a time suck. It had bad booking, the wrong call for a winner. I give this 0.5 star out of 5. People were frustrated just that Jericho was even in this match to begin with. It's not even necessarily that the match was poor. There were elements of it that definitely were, but I think it had more to do with the fact that Jericho was involved and that the crowd just turned on Jericho. But I really don't understand the need for Jericho to be this guy who's like one of the oldest guys in the company. He's the guy who should be putting people over, defeating Hook. I really hope that Hook's on his way out to WWE. I think it would be a good pivot and a good change for him. And NXT could use some fresh blood. Obviously, this might be part of a bigger storyline involving Taz, of course. But for what this match was, it kind of reminds me of like the Jericho-Adam Cole match where it had Sabu involved. These kind of matches just don't do for me. These Jericho like special attraction one-on-one matches, or like lower title matches, just anything with Jericho in a singles feud really over the last like couple of years, I just really haven't dug it. And this one in particular really left a bad taste in my mouth, so I give it a half star. After that, we moved to Timeless Toni Storm defending her AEW Women's World Championship against Thunder Rosa. Not particularly a big fan of either lady, but I will give flowers where they are due. It was a really solid match. Timeless Toni Storm successfully defended her title, and she was a little more serious in this versus some of her other matches where she might be a little more comedic in nature. And I thought that was really helpful to make the match better overall in quality. So I give it a 3 1/4. Nothing necessarily more impressive than other matches that she's had in terms of the performance, but in terms of the tone, I really do appreciate that more serious approach to the matchup. Next, we get into Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. And before I give you my rating, I got to make something very clear. I have never given a match above 5 stars officially, just because I don't know if I could. Like, I don't know, like, where do I cut it off? 6? Because some matches people have considered to be above 6 stars. So I'm going to cap it out at 5. Like, a perfect match, like one of the best matches I've ever seen, I would put at 5. And I don't know if I'll go above that. But if you would like to see me attempt to give ratings above 5 stars, let me know in the comments below. With all that being said, Will Ospreay defeated Bryan Danielson in a 5-star instant classic match of the year contender. I called this in terms of my prediction video, saying Will Ospreay was going to beat Bryan Danielson in what I thought would be a match of the year contender right off rip, and I was right. But also, these guys put in a heck of a show. Obviously, that the Storm Driver that Will Ospreay hit towards the end of the match looked a little scary. Bryan Danielson sold it super well. I don't think he was actually injured to the level that he portrayed with the seizure moment. But I think that it was a friendly reminder that Bryan Danielson's career is coming to a close. This man has put his body through a lot, and then Will Ospreay tried to make it feel legitimate by saying he was going to retire that move. So it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. I think Will Ospreay is the future of AEW. Now, he does kind of run his mouth regarding WWE. I would like to see him cut back on that a little bit and find more of his own identity and not be like the anti-WWE guy who just has really good matches. Find that little bit more personality within himself in AEW. But this match, if this is indicative of what he's going to do, like we've seen him do in New Japan, I'm very excited to see his future with this company. Next up, we had the Young Bucks defeating FTR in a tag team ladder match for the vacant AEW Tag Team Championships after Sting and Darby Allin relinquished them and vacated those titles after Sting retired. I really liked this match. I don't think it was, well, it was up there with some of their other matches. I think it was a little lacking comparatively. I had this at 4.5 stars, so we definitely peaked with Danielson versus Ospreay, and we're kind of coming down off of that. But this was still a really good match. I think the biggest talking point is that Jack Perry came in and cost FTR the titles by siding with the Young Bucks, which, fair play. I had made this comment when I made my AEW is a mess rant video, but I think they've kind of counteracted one of those points, which was you're talking about 2 guys who are no longer in your company. Obviously, they brought Jack Perry back in because they showed the video. I guess it's a good associative way to bring him back into the fold. He's got a lot of heat. He's a bigger star now than he ever was before. But it's like, what's the natural progression of this? Who's going to team with FTR to take those guys on? It won't be Punk. So I think that's going to be a little lacking. However, this match in a story of itself, and with the conclusion involving Jack Perry costing the titles and giving Young Bucks a win to win the vacant championships, I give it 4.5 stars. Really solid showing by both these teams. And then in the main event, for the AEW World Championship, Swerve Strickland defeated Samoa Joe to win the AEW World title. 4 stars. It's about time. Really solid match. Love both these guys. It is Swerve's time. He has done one heck of a job over the last year. It's really been like a career renaissance, especially after coming out of WWE and not really seeming to have much direction except being the guy tagging with Keith Lee. The turn that occurred, the match that never happened that should have happened, and the feud with Hangman Page, and really cementing his place as the star of AEW right now. It's very well deserved. I'm really excited to see where the story goes. I really think we're heading towards Hangman versus Swerve for the title over the summer, Double or Nothing, and maybe the rematch at All Out. I would love to see that. Those two guys could feud forever. Overall, I give AEW Dynasty a 7 out of 10. It's kind of on par for me with like an WrestleMania Night 1 card and show. WrestleMania Night 2 was a standout for me. Didn't come quite close to that, but in terms of like the WrestleMania 1 night card, what it produced, I would put this on equal footing. We saw one heck of a match, like I said, with Ospreay and Danielson, and really the second half of the show overall far exceeded the first half of Dynasty, so they ended on a high note. Especially with Swerve winning the title, which I thought was a great call. So let me know down in the comments below what you would rate AEW Dynasty. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like anything wrestling, video games, or the occasional parent humor. You're in the right place, and I will see you very soon.